Hollywood whispers have a way of lingering. They don't fade, they merely hibernate, waiting for the perfect moment to resurface with renewed intensity. And right now, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively find themselves at the center of a firestorm. For years, they've embodied relationship goals: a picture-perfect love story, charming online exchanges, and an idyllic family dynamic. But what if that polished narrative concealed a more complicated origin, one entangled with Ryan's ex-wife, Scarlett Johansson? Emerging speculation hints that Blake's arrival in Ryan's world may have been far less straightforward than the public was originally told. It's an unsettling notion for fans who've placed Ryan on a pedestal, praising his charm and sense of humor. Yet behind the scenes, a slew of co-stars, friends, and anonymous sources have shared a different narrative. It's one of controlling behavior, sharp mood swings, and possible infidelity. So which version of Ryan is real? Did Scarlett Johansson dodge a bullet when she walked away from their marriage? Buckle up, because we're about to peel back the layers on Hollywood's beloved leading man Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson's relationship. Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson's relationship caught the world off guard when it started around 2007. He had just come off a high-profile engagement to Alanis Morissette, so most people assumed he would take some time to recover. Instead, he proposed to Scarlett in May 2008, barely a year after his split from Alanis. The public was still reeling from the abrupt shift, but the allure of this new Hollywood power couple overshadowed any skepticism. Their engagement was the sort of fast-paced, glamorous whirlwind you'd expect from young celebrities. By September of that same year, they were married in a quiet ceremony, leaving tabloids scrambling for details. On the surface, they seemed like an enviable duo, gorgeous, talented, and unstoppable. Yet beneath the picture-perfect facade, tension simmered. Insider reports would later reveal that their busy careers caused them to spend endless weeks apart. Scarlett, in particular, hinted at how draining this lifestyle could be, once admitting she'd stare at a wall for hours after returning home from work, simply from exhaustion. In retrospect, the red flags began to wave almost immediately while they appeared arm in arm on red carpets. Rumors surfaced of heated arguments behind closed doors. One alleged incident on the set of the proposal painted a startling picture of a furious Scarlett confronting Ryan in his trailer, though both camps denied these stories at the time. The gossip persisted. It didn't help that Ryan was also pegged as a traditional man who wanted his wife's unconditional support, even if it meant sacrificing her own booming career. Scarlett, used to her independence, began to feel trapped both in the marriage and in the public's unrelenting spotlight. Enter Blake Lively, a rising star fresh off the popular TV series Gossip Girl. She joined Ryan on the set of Green Lantern, a film that might not have made cinematic history, but would prove monumental in both of their personal lives. Fans looking back point to the unusual chemistry between the two during interviews. Even in group settings, Blake and Ryan seemed to share inside jokes, finishing each other's sentences with more familiarity than co-stars typically display. At the time, Scarlett was in New York, tied up with a Broadway play. Ryan, stationed on a different coast, was fully immersed in his new superhero role. Although this might sound like standard Hollywood fare, with couples traveling for work all the time, there was something about Blake and Ryan's bond began to raise eyebrows. Whispers floated around about them grabbing dinner alone, looking a tad too cozy for just friends. Witnesses reported flirty laughter and intense conversations, so intense that onlookers thought they were a couple. For Scarlett, these rumors felt like salt on an open wound. She was already grappling with the emotional toll of a strained marriage, hearing about her husband's blossoming camaraderie with another woman, particularly one as charismatic as Blake was hardly reassuring. Some insiders claim Scarlett confronted Ryan, who brushed it off as harmless friendship, but in the fast-paced, rumor-fueled environment of Hollywood, small cracks can become gaping chasms overnight. By December 2010, Scarlett and Ryan announced their split, marking the official end of a marriage that felt cut short by outside forces. Scarlett was not the only one who has hinted at deeper problems with Ryan's temperament. Several unnamed sources have described him as a perfectionist with a strong desire to dictate the terms both at home and on set during his marriage to Scarlett. For example, he was reportedly jealous of her friendships with male musicians and disliked the time she spent apart from him. Adding to the friction was her meteoric career rise. Scarlett was landing blockbuster roles in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, while Ryan's own projects like Green Lantern didn't meet expectations at the box office. With each passing success of hers, Ryan's insecurities allegedly grew. Insiders paint a picture of him urging her to drop everything to be by his side, yet not returning the favor when Scarlett needed his support. This dynamic proved impossible to maintain for an actress who prized her independence and took her career seriously. The clashing personalities created an environment rife with arguments and second-guessing. After the divorce, Scarlett herself remarked in interviews that she hadn't yet grasped the full meaning of marriage. While those comments could be read as youthful ignorance, many took them as a hint that she hadn't realized how controlling a spouse could become, especially when the spouse was dealing with his own uncertainties in a competitive industry. In short, what she described as inexperience may have masked a deeper problem, one that other Hollywood figures would begin to echo in the years to come. It's easy to dismiss rumors as idle chatter until you notice they come from multiple sources. Over the years, different celebrities have stepped forward, some quietly, others quite openly, to share unflattering encounters with Ryan Reynolds. Most famously, members of the Jersey Shore cast Sammy Gianola and Dana Cortez caused to stir on social media when they hinted that Ryan was astonishingly rude to them at an event. While Sammy was cautious not to name names, Dina had no qualms about spelling it out. It was Ryan Reynolds who brushed them off and acted like they weren't worth his time. That, of course, could be written off as a one-time personality clash, but the pattern didn't stop there. Fans started noticing something amiss with Ryan's relationship to his Deadpool co-star Morena Baccarin, who played a pivotal role in the first film. She had a markedly smaller presence in the sequel and was conspicuously absent from promotional events. Publicly, Morena expressed disappointment, but kept her statements professional, saying she understood her character was intended as an emotional catalyst. Yet behind the scenes, speculation mounted that Ryan was none too eager to share the limelight, effectively sidelining her involvement. The allegations only became more troubling when actor T.J. Miller, who portrayed Weasel in the Deadpool films, recounted his experiences in an interview. He described Ryan's behavior as downright mean during filming, suggesting that Reynolds let the success of the first movie inflate his ego. Miller recalled how Ryan in character made belittling comments that blurred into real-life insults, although many fans blame T.J. Miller's own controversies for his departure from the franchise. It was hard to ignore his very pointed take on Ryan's alleged thirst for total control when the first Deadpool became a surprise smash hit. Ryan Reynolds ascended to a whole new level of fame overnight. He went from the guy in flopped superhero flicks to the comedic genius behind a record-breaking mark. Marvel's success for many, it seemed like redemption for the Green Lantern fiasco, yet for those who'd already seen hints of his controlling tendencies, this newfound power only magnified them. Tim Miller, the director of the original Deadpool, eventually parted ways with the sequel, citing creative differences. He later gave interviews suggesting that Ryan wanted to dominate every creative decision from the script to the editing process. According to Miller, if the star also wants to control the direction, it leaves a director with very little say. Rather than become a puppet, Miller stepped away from the project. This confirmed growing rumors that Ryan had become the captain of the Deadpool ship, and not everyone was happy about it. Fans were torn. Some applauded Ryan for being so dedicated to his passion project that he'd fight for its success. Others viewed his behavior as overbearing. The truth likely sits somewhere in the middle. He might be deeply invested in making sure Deadpool stays on brand, yet that drive can push collaborators aside. Pair that with accounts of on-set friction, and you get a portrait of an actor who's as demanding as he is charming. It's a combination that fosters success, but can leave a trail of resentment in its wake. While all these allegations bubbled in the background, Ryan's public persona remained golden, largely due to his seemingly flawless marriage to Blake Lively. From witty tweets poking fun at each other to red carpet appearances dripping with affection, the pair appeared to be an unshakable duo. They've been known to extol each other's virtues in interviews, painting a rosy picture of domestic bliss that fans can't get enough of. However, that perfect front hasn't always held up under scrutiny. When Blake faced the swarm of criticism over her adaptation of a popular novel, rumors circulated that Ryan was firmly in control of media appearances and press strategies, much like he allegedly did on the Deadpool set. The speculation fueled the idea that behind the smiling selfies and comedic banter, a complex power dynamic might exist. Some observers even pointed to a pattern. If Ryan indeed orchestrated press events for his co-stars, it's possible that he does the same at home. Naturally, both Ryan and Blake remain tight-lipped on these rumors, relying on well-timed jokes and deflective humor to keep their private life off-limits. Yet the revelations from Scarlett's camp, combined with the remarks of Ryan's former collaborators, create a puzzle that's difficult to ignore. Is the perfect couple simply adept at PR, or is their relationship genuinely as wholesome as it appears? So did Ryan truly cheat on Scarlett Johansson with Blake Lively? The truth is likely buried under layers of rumor, half-truths, and official denials. She's spoken about growing from the experience, acknowledging how a young marriage can flounder without clear expectations or shared goals. Meanwhile, Ryan soared to new heights, headlining a blockbuster franchise and morphing into one of Hollywood's most bankable actors. Whether he wields that influence benevolently or with an iron fist depends on whom you ask. One thing is clear: the cracks in Ryan's carefully curated image are no longer so easy to ignore, from co-stars accusing him of arrogance to fans piecing together timelines that suggest possible infidelity. The evidence piles up, yet he and Blake remain a fan-favorite couple, perhaps because they embody the romantic fantasy many people crave. So we're left with a mystery. Is Ryan Reynolds an ambitious go-getter whose drive sometimes rubs people the wrong way? Or is he, as some rumors claim, a controlling figure more concerned with maintaining a spotless reputation than forming genuine connections? What's your take? Let us know in the comments. Is Ryan's charm just a show, or have we all been too quick to judge him? After all, in Hollywood, stories can shift overnight just as quickly as a leading man can transform from hero to villain. Is this the whole story, or is there another surprise waiting in Tinseltown's back rooms, itching to be revealed? If you enjoyed the video, please help our channel grow and like and subscribe. We hope to see you again soon.